All right, you've heard a lot today and yesterday about the P4A, and you've heard the training and the stories, and you see the significance. And yesterday you heard me say that's our lifeblood. It's our lifeline of moving this union forward, us controlling the training and how important that is. At this time, I'd love to bring up to you, who just recently joined us back in February. He's going to speak. It's Jonathan Harmon. And he became the executive director of the UWUA Power for America Training Trust Fund in February of this year. He has worked for the last 20 years within educational fields as secondary teacher, labor representative for the Michigan Education Association, MEA, and labor relation consultant for regional education agencies in mid-Michigan. He has presented on many occasions to union and management representatives on topics ranging from collaboration, bargaining to professional development. During his tenure at MEA, he successfully negotiated over 100 labor contracts on behalf of union members. He holds a bachelor's degree in history as well as a master's degree in labor and industrial relations from Michigan State University. Jonathan and his family currently resides in Holt, Michigan, where he serves as a trustee on the Delhi Charter Township Board. Let's give a huge applause to Jonathan. Jonathan, you in the room?
Lights are bright up here. Good morning, convention delegates. On behalf of the UWUA Power of America Board of Trustees and its employees, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak to you about how P4A is helping UWUA members to reclaim, retrain, repower, and repair America. As you know, the UWUA Power for America Training Trust Fund was created in 2009 to provide the utmost in training opportunities. Our instructors provide your members with the knowledge and skills to not only master the required skills necessary for the job, but to perform the work in the safest manner possible. These trainings insist in ensuring that your members have successful careers in the utility industries. By developing the relationships through the collective bargaining process, P4A membership has grown to include 8 employers and thousands of UWUA members. P4A programs have trained prospective UWUA members with the UMAP project, new UWUA members through the Consumers Project, and veteran UWUA members through the Utility Lines Project. These trainings have allowed your members to pursue apprenticeships at no cost, achieve advanced college degrees. These trainings focused on the technical skills needed for gas, electric, water, nuclear, wind, and solar positions. Our trainings emphasize how to perform these jobs in the safest manner possible so that every UWUA brother and sister goes home to their family each night. So now I can relax and tell you why I'm up here. The one lesson when I came to P4A, I was reminded how life lessons are taught through little phrases. So as a young kid, my dad taught me that when it comes to turning a wrench, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. My girls learned through bedtime stories that you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. My young nephew and my nieces were tattling on each other, so my brother taught them that snitches end up with stitches. And finally, when I negotiated school employee contracts for Michigan's largest teacher union, a rising tide raises all ships. The one lesson that stuck out with me came from my playing and coaching days, though, and that lesson was this: iron sharpens iron. These 3 simple words guided our practices and games. Iron sharpens iron. Our teams always had good athletes, but we came better as we worked together towards winning. The older teammates mentored the younger teammates. Our guys with great skills worked with the players who didn't have good skills to bring them up. Iron sharpening iron. When you live those 3 words, iron sharpens iron, players become stronger and challenged each and every day. And when it came time to compete, we knew we were equipped to face any challenge that we may see on the field. So when I joined P4A as its executive director, that saying was reborn in these words that Brother Dylan told me: union training union. Is there a better way to reclaim, repower, repair America than union members training union members? I can't think of a better way. Union training means that our brothers and sisters are concerned with not only providing for their families, but they care just as much that their fellow union brother and sister has those same opportunities as well. So what does union training union look like at P4A? Every instructor that we employ comes from a union background. 7 of our 8 instructors are former UWUA brothers. The one member who doesn't have a UWUA background is a current IAAF firefighter. In comparison, when we look at outsourced training companies, they don't use former union trainers, or do they possess the legacy that our trainers have. Company training is often just a package that was developed with little field experience. Of our 7 trainers on staff, these individuals possess a combined 170 years of experience as UWUA members. They know how to do the jobs that they're training. Iron sharpens iron, union training union. These phrases, these models, these beliefs guide P4A as we retrain your members, both present and future. I feel like Rick read my speech and took everything I was going to talk about with the UMAP project. So I'm going to tell you how we're going to build on that UMAP project real quickly. The military has been so impressed with what Rick did in Chicago with the veterans, is that they've asked P4A to come to military installations and begin that same training with current active soldiers. They are transitioning their soldiers out. As they transition their soldiers into civilian life, they want them to have good jobs and good careers. They wouldn't have asked P4A to come down there if it wasn't for Rick Passarelli. That's how the UWUA reclaims the American dream. We also reclaim the American dream when we look at the Consumers Project and the training that we do with new employees there. We've gone through about 174 distribution new hires in the last 3 months that have gone through our training facility. And one of those individuals stayed after one day. And it was kind of strange because usually after a 9-hour training day, the guys get in the car and they want to go home or go back to the hotel and unwind a little bit after kind of going through the training. But he didn't, and he stayed after with us for over an hour and a half. And he spoke to us about how he waited for 7 years for the position with Consumers Powers. He told us that at that 7-year mark, he was working for a non-union excavation business making $12 an hour. How he had near misses. And as he was telling us this story, he started to get choked up. And our instructors went over there and put their arms around him and said, "Hey, you're with family now. We take care of you." And the training that he was so choked up about wasn't making a great wage, which was now going to allow him and his son to move into the middle class. It was more about the fact that he knew that he had people looking out for him so that he could go home and see that son every night. And that's the training that we do at P4A here. That's reclaiming the American dream. And that's what you do every day when you bargain P4A into your contracts. And you sign those MOUs to allow us to come in and do those trainings here. On a more global aspect, I wouldn't be up here today if it wasn't for what union brothers and sisters have done for my family. My dad's a skilled trade UAW electrician for GM. My mom works for the NEA at Michigan State University. My brother is a union iron worker, a former union iron worker, and now he's a proud Teamster. And for 20 years, I was an MEA member and an MEA negotiator. And if it wasn't for the union, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I've had today, and my children wouldn't have the opportunities that they're going to have tomorrow. Iron sharpens iron, union training union. So how does P4A retrain America? Look no further than the relationship that Pat Dillon spoke about earlier with Consumers Energy. It began as a pilot program, and with early success, a 10,000 square foot training center was built in which we conduct our training, and we've already outgrown that training facility, and we're adding a 5,000 square foot training facility starting in August. How many new and current employees have we trained as a result of this relationship? Just got the numbers in yesterday. Over 1,000 UWUA members were trained because of this relationship, which includes 174 gas distribution workers just in the months of April, May, and June alone. And currently, we were told that we'll be training 450 electrical line workers in excavation safety in the next 2 months. Iron sharpens iron, union training union. So what makes the P4A training unique? I believe it's this. With the union training approach, we teach more than knowledge and skills. Every training that you go to should teach you knowledge and skills. If we look at it this way, there's a 5-step hierarchy that union trainers use when they train your members, and that's this. The first thing they should train them is knowledge. That knowledge is making sure that your members obtain the safe and health and the technical skills necessary. The next step is skills, having and demonstrating the ability to perform safety-related tasks. That's typically where the training ends, when you look at a management or a third-party trainer. But here's where the union takes it 3 steps further. The next step is this. Union trainers change attitudes. When it comes to safety and health, we make that commitment. We change the attitudes of the workers that we're training so that all of a sudden safety and health is important to them. My brother likes to tease me now that safety rules are meant to be broken. I train him to make sure that he changes that attitude. And I think the Teamsters are probably happy now. The 4th thing that we teach is individual behaviors, adopting those individual safe working practices. And here's how we know that your members are at that 4th step, is that when they come into the classroom, and even though they're sitting there looking at a PowerPoint, they're wearing their PPE vest, hopefully not their earplugs, but the safety goggles, and we say, guys, you can take all of those off. You don't need them here in the classroom right now. But they have them with them. They've adopted it, they have the attitude, they've adopted those individual skills, and they're looking at it and they're saying, I want to stay safe. And here's how I know when we're successful. We're successful when they're no longer worried about themselves, but they're worried about their brother and sister. And that right there is what we call the social action, collective safety and health advocacy. And here's how we see that at P4A. We see this when they begin looking out for their fellow trainees. We see this when they come to me and say, the paving company out there isn't wearing their PPE, can you go out there and stop the job? And I go out there and stop the job until their PPE is put on. Every training should provide those knowledge and skills. However, when a union training conducts that training, changes in attitudes, individual behaviors occur, and a rise for social action takes place. When attitudes are shaped, individual behaviors regarding safety are embedded into their everyday practice. Finally, once that union member develops an attitude towards safety, it's evident within their individual behavior. They start looking out for their union brothers and sisters, and everyone goes home every night. Union training, union, iron sharpens iron. These 5 phrases and those 5 pieces guide P4A as we support UWUA brothers and sisters in creating a culture of safety and teamwork that will achieve the goal of reclaim, retrain, repower, and rebuild America. I'm excited to work with you to provide that training to you and your members. Union training, union, iron sharpens iron. Thank you and God bless.